Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren, and for this assignment, I immediately knew that I had to choose The Lord of the Rings as my favorite work of literature and film. I was first introduced to The Lord of the Rings when my dad took us to the theater to see it when I was in fourth grade. And the only thing that I took away from this 2.5 hour epic saga, my fourth grade self, was that this was the first movie I ever had to get up and go to the bathroom in. I very distinctly remember coming back to school the next day and telling all of my classmates that I saw this really absurd movie with elves and a ring and these things called hobbits, and I had to get up and go pee. A few years later, The Two Towers comes out, and again, I remember my dad watching it and me telling him that it was way too violent of a movie. In between The Two Towers coming out and The Return of the King coming out, something changed. I grew up, I was starting to go to middle school. I was starting this journey of trying to find myself, trying to find what I was passionate about, and trying to find who I was supposed to be in this new world. I thought that going to middle school was going to completely define me for the rest of my life. And in that, my dad had introduced me to these books, and I had read The Hobbit right after seeing The Fellowship of the Ring. And there was something about this world that Tolkien created that spoke to me on a spiritual level. There was something about this character who there was nothing exceptional about him. He just really longed for adventure, and his uncle just so happened to have this ring that made you invisible. And so as Frodo is trying to find himself and find out what it means to go on this adventure and save the world and do something meaningful and important, I was kind of doing the same thing. I was trying to figure out how I fit into the world and how I was going to do something important and something meaningful. And now that I'm older and I have a degree in history, and so I could look at these books and these movies from an academic perspective, I also still cling to it from an emotional perspective because these movies were the times that I spent with my best friends in middle school. They were the thing that connected me to my dad when our relationship wasn't all that great. And so it continues to inspire me as I try to figure out how my life is going to turn out and how I can do something meaningful, and that little reminder that even the smallest person can change the course of the future.